Oh, just before we start, guys, please hit subscribe. It means so much to us when you hit subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel, and we're putting out as much quality content as we can. Sometimes when we take breaks is to actually increase the quality of content to bring you videos like this. So if you guys are liking this and the type of videos we're making, please hit subscribe. Please hit the like button as well. And if you enjoy the full video, watch till the end, and of course, share it with a friend. I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy. Okay, guys, so part 4 of 25 mistakes I made by 25. So, number 16, I lost my license a few times in my early 20s for speeding. That's pretty normal. That's not a massive mistake or failure, but that did eventually divulge to me having 2 periods of 3 months before 24 where I could not drive. So that's a pretty straightforward one. A lot of people can relate to that. Number 17, though, is an interesting one. So I crashed my car once, and it was not due to drinking, not due to speeding, or anything else. It was simply due to sleep deprivation. I was 21, and I was in an apartment complex, and my car was at the bottom of the apartment complex. There was like 5 layers of car parking. You had to go down, and there was like a ramp that had a really sharp turn, right? And what happens is when you first go park in this garage, initially you're super scared. You don't want to scratch any cars. You're really, really focused. And then naturally develop confidence, and I'm not recommending that people do that, but that's just what happens. And funnily enough, I would never, ever encounter any issues when I was zooming or whatever. But one time, I think I came back from a trip to Sydney or something along those lines. I don't know if it was for business or not, but I think I was 21 or 22, maybe 21. And what happens is, I was on a detox actually. Yeah. So I came back from Sydney, and I'm in a period of just intense work and focus, and I'm super sleep deprived. I'm talking like this is the part of my life when I was pushing myself to the point where I'd nap in between days. So instead of me having like a full 8, 9, 7 hours of sleep, I would have naps in between days. Like it was super unhealthy, and I only could last doing it for like a week or two. Really bad for you. Don't recommend it. It's like the effects of that took me a long time to recover from. Anyway, so I end up coming out of this car park, and just based on pure sleep deprivation, I was kind of just like a robot. Move, douche. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I just was driving, and I was so cognitively tired and disoriented that I was such an avoidable crash. But I just crashed. And luckily, it wasn't a huge crash. But I was 22. Because I remember being still so focused on my mission at the time that I drove the car around, even with the crashed lights. Right? I wasn't to the point where till my parents saw it, and they're like, "Oh, Dami, what happened to your car?" And they're like, "You can't drive this. Like, this is not roadworthy." And you know what's even crazy? I remember I was definitely 22 actually. I think I did come back from a business trip, or something like that, a work trip. I remember the damage on the front of it being so like embarrassing to the public. I didn't care. Like I could still go out with the car. I did not care at all. In broad daylight, I didn't care. As long as police didn't stop me, I was going to keep driving the thing. I remember my car going viral on someone else's TikTok account. So my car was parked at this specific time in St. Kilda for one of the events I was running, one of the clubs or events I was running in that time, 2-3 years ago. And someone literally had found my car, and they were making a montage of like the craziness of St. Kilda, and the screenshot of my car was in it. And I was like, this is crazy. Like this guy has no idea that he's taking a picture of my car. So that was again another a mistake that I learned from, and since then it's rare that I'll drive while super sleep deprived, which is something that a lot of people should be taking note of as well. Okay, on the topic of pushing oneself, I got severe vertigo twice as a result of overworking. So first time was at 20 during COVID 2020. I was at the time living at home with my parents, and I was just like, you know what? I've lost majority of my agency's revenue. I just want to build this thing back up, and I want to build it up in a way where by the time I come back, I'm more smart, I'm more clever, I'm intelligent, and I've got all these extra resources and information. So my schedule was basically don't eat food till like I'd finished the hardest tasks of the day. So sometimes I would eat food at 12 p.m. or sometimes I'd eat food at 5 or 6 p.m. But I was still bulking. I was still working out in the hot sun. And I was still smashing through like 4 or 6 hours of courses on sales, NLP, e-commerce, marketing, you name it. Like I was, just as much as I could get my hands on. And basically what happened was I got severe vertigo. So vertigo is basically where it's extreme dizziness essentially. And when I would sit up straight like this, I would feel like my head was sideways, and that was hard. Like that knocked me out. I'd never experienced vertigo before, but if you've experienced vertigo, you'll understand what I mean. It's a very terrible feeling because you don't have any control. You have to. Yeah, just 1 second, guys. If you're liking this video, just hit like and subscribe because we really appreciate your support. And if you think someone else can benefit from this, then please share it with a friend as well. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe, and back to the video. Let it pass. You have to really kind of go through the processes of letting it go away. But it's hard to explain, and it's a really terrible sensation. It can feel really bad. So that was the first time I got vertigo. The second time was about a year later. So I'm living in the city at the time. I'm 21 years old. I just quit. I think I quit. Yeah, this is when I quit that BDM role that I mentioned in the earlier videos. 90K a year at a big marketing agency where they were selling a lot of high-tech marketing services. I quit that. And I'm like, you know what? 3 months, I'm going to go all in. No music, no going out, just like basketball and like pitching people for the agency. And basically, just as I concluded the detox early, I got extremely sick. Like I was throwing up 5 to 10 times a day. I got vertigo. It was really, really intense vertigo as well. And this time, like my body was overheating. Like I was at a 39-degree fever. Like 41 is where people can pass away, guys. Like I was dragging it, and it was just solely based off, pushing myself to the limit. So number 19 was going to be that I was throwing up 5 to 10 times a day. So I'm going to just put 18 and 19 together because I've spoken about that. But yeah, 39-degree fever and vertigo, guys, is no joke. Okay, number 20. So when I was 11 years old, I was like a musical kid. So before I became super sporty, I would play guitar, sing, play piano. And, I was pretty good at it. By year 5, when I was 10 years old, I would win awards. You know what I mean? Like competing and performing and stuff like that. I was always really competitive as a kid. I'd write my own music as well. And I think I was trying to perform a Jonas Brothers song. Shout out to Jonas Brothers. At 11 years old, and I was in year 5 or year 6. I think I was in year 6. And there was this really strict teacher. She'll know who she is. Shout out to her. She had that reputation in this school. And basically, I was about 5 to 10 minutes late to the setup. So this is not the actual assembly, just to the setup of the assembly. And I brought my electric. So I thought I was a genius. I thought I was a rock star. I got this gold spray paint. I'll see if I can find this for you guys. And I had a white and blue electric guitar. And I spray paint this white and blue electric guitar. And I bring it to perform at assembly. And, I'm 5 to 10 minutes late to setup. And she just starts scoundering me, saying, "You're late. This is ridiculous. If you're going to be performing an assembly, you should be early and on time." And it was like not that long. It was like 5 to 10 minutes. And I was like year 6, year 5. But it was still fair enough. She's right. I was late. Late is late, right? Anyway, so it's not until, for whatever reason, it's not until we actually get on stage and I'm about to perform solo that we realize that my guitar was not tuned properly. It was not tuned properly, and the gold spray paint had added some sort of friction to the aux cord to plug it into like the speaker. So like in a lot of electric guitars, it's like this little hole where you can plug it into the speaker in the guitar, and the amp, and it connects to the amp, and you can play it out loud. And yeah, so the spray paint messed it up, like the connection of that. And I was doing tuning it, I was testing it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds off." But she then comes up after noticing that I'm kind of fiddling, getting ready, and she says to the whole assembly, "Keep in mind, I'm 11 years old. Sorry, guys, someone came late today. We'll be starting shortly." And she just made me feel so embarrassed. So now I'm nervous, and I am, with an untuned, not correctly, used guitar or set up guitar. And I'm like, well, it is what it is. I got to get to it. Let's start performing. And, I play the first chord and it's off, but I'm like, I've always been a kind of guy where I go hard or go home. I hit the first chord. I'm like, oh, this is not good, sounding good. And I start singing, performing. I sing off key. I perform badly. The performance was so bad that after 2 to 3 minutes, once the assembly was, after I finished performing, there was like a 5-second delay. Now to you guys, you might be thinking like 5 seconds is nothing, like whatever. But when you're performing in front of hundreds of people, okay, and you finish playing the last strum of the guitar and you're the last chord, count to 5 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then someone starts clapping out of pity. And yeah, that was one of the worst performances that I'd actually ever experienced. And I performed even into high school for other things, you know, like monologues and stuff and debating. But that by far, still to this day, has scarred me mentally. But, you know, it hasn't held me back. But I remember being in the playground at Snack later that day. And shout out to my friend Scott Senegals. I'm like, the team, the boys were playing like Tiggy or whatever. And I'm hiding in like one of the playgrounds. And they're like, Dami, you don't want to play? I was like, yeah, bro. And he's like, is it because of your performance? And I was like, bro, this guy's a straight shooter. Like, how is this year 6 guy telling me that my performance is so bad that he can guess why I'm upset? And I didn't even answer. I said, it's all good, bro. See you later. But yeah, that's 16 to 20 for you guys. And, you know, again, the great thing about these things is it takes you back to different phases of life where you grow. And that's a positive memory, you know, being able to have that mess up so early in my life, 14 years ago, 13 years ago. It's always going to be a cool story to dear to my heart. Anyway, if you guys like this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Always think mega. Take care, guys. Peace. Hey, guys, listen, it's Dami. Thank you for watching this video. If you got value out of this, then like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to share this with a friend if you think that they can also get value out of this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.